Well, after some 50 years, we have returned to the moon. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you a little bit of our planetarium server room, the computers and the technology that we use to put the images and the shows up on the dome. And this is just a sample of what we have. There's more stuff behind you here. There's more stuff above us. We're actually below the seats right now. So if you have not ever been to the planetarium, whenever you do come here to see a show, below your feet, that's where all of the computers and the magic happens, as well as behind the dome as well. So let's just get right into the intro so we can get back to the moon. All right, yes, we have returned to the moon, as you can see here. Well, excuse me, SpaceX's Odysseus lander successfully, sort of, landed on the moon a couple of days ago, Thursday, February 22nd. It flew to the moon aboard a Falcon 9 rocket, and when it departed from Kennedy Space Center, and it also took about a week to get there. It was built by a company called Intuitive Machines, which also makes them the first commercial developer to land a payload on the moon. Congrats. But that's not all for the firsts here in this series of firsts. This marks also the first ever private spacecraft to land on the lunar surface. It also marks the first time we've been back to the moon since the Apollo 17 mission back in 1972. Now, this lander is about the size of a British telephone booth, if you remember what those look like. Think about Doctor Who. Well, and although it did land successfully and started transmitting back to us, we later found out that something happened and it is now perched on its side. Bit of an issue there. But it did touch down on Malaparte A crater by the South Pole region, and this is largely due to the discovery of ice on the surface of the moon. It's possible that this ice could be used on future missions. Future astronauts will need it for drinking and growing plants. Also, water can be separated into oxygen and hydrogen, hence the H2O. It can be separated into the hydrogen and the oxygen elements, which could be later used for breathing and rocket fuel. You breathe the oxygen, you use the hydrogen for rocket fuel, not vice versa. And on its way to the moon, and after separating from the Falcon 9 rockets, it was able to take a few snapshots of Earth as it receded into the distance. Let's enjoy some of those with our eyeballs right now. So what's on board the Odysseus, or Odie as they call it? Well, it carries a dozen payloads consisting of experiments, an art installation, a memorial, and 6 NASA space experiments. These experiments are designed to collect data that will aid the NASA Artemis program, which aims to establish a crewed base, that is a base for the crew of people, near the moon's south pole by the end of 2020. Well, the 2020s. Now, these 6 NASA experiments include communications and navigation, as well as radio frequency experiments to study electrons above the lunar surface. There's also an onboard laser retro reflector, which will let us ping the orbiter from low lunar orbit. It also carries the ILO-X observatory, which is mounted atop the lander. Now, this should provide some incredible images of the Milky Way as well as Earth perched low over the lunar horizon. No details yet on how this wonky landing, where the perch of the lander is now crooked and on its side, how that will affect this observatory, but time will tell. Well, there's also the Embry-Riddle's Eagle Cam, which was supposed to deploy before landing, but it ended up remaining on board. Now, aside from the NASA experiments, it also has 6 commercial payloads. One of them is for Columbia Sportswear, which will test its Omni-Heat Infinity insulative material. So look forward to that when it comes out one day, and how they will heavily promote it as being tested on the moon. Well, the art installation is a set of sculptures by artist Jeff Koons. There's also something called a secure lunar repository, which aims to help safeguard the entirety of human knowledge should something terrible happen here on Earth. So with all that, congratulations to those involved in the SpaceX program, the Odysseus program here with the, what was the name of that company that we had here? It was Intuitive Machines as well. Congrats to all. And I did show you the planetarium server room a while ago. I want to reiterate that if you have not been to the planetarium, we have one of the best planetariums, one of the biggest planetariums, one of the most technologically advanced planetariums in the Gulf Coast of the United States. 60-foot dome, 4K video, 5.1 surround sound. Looks fantastic. It's immersive. It covers your field of view. It's quite unique. Something you can't get anywhere else around here. That's for sure. We have shows such as 321 Liftoff. We have the new supermassive Black Holes show. We also have large format films like America's Musical Journey. We also have things like In Saturn's Rings. Everything we have here has been vetted by me personally, so I can vouch for all of the quality of the films I have just laid out, and all the films and full dome shows that are listed on LESM's website. So visit lesm.org for a full list of shows. We also have a new jazz exhibit going on in our main exhibit area. We have some films that deal with jazz and the brain in our auditorium as well. We have a great gift shop here. Don't forget about our great gift shop for all of your gift-giving ideas. We have some jazz-themed gifts in there. So if you have a loved one who has a birthday coming up, you want a unique gift, please visit us here at LESM and our gift shop for those unique gift-giving ideas. Once again, I thank you for joining me for this morning of coffee and astronomy, or astronomy and coffee. I'll see you next week, folks. Can't wait to see you then, and whatever new developments. What new developments might pop up in space and in the world around us, up in the heavens and the cosmos, amongst the stars, the moons and the planets. And at some point, the outro should roll. There it is.